Today I'm in Redruth, a former mining town in Cornwall, and we're going to visit two cemeteries, St Day and the amazing St Uny. This is the Methodist church in Redruth, dated 1826. Alongside it is the Memorial Hall, dated 1891. Methodism was very big in this part of the country. On the front of the chapel is the plaque listing 28 names, and these are the gallant sons of this church and the Sunday school who died in World War I. This is just the casualties from the Methodist faith. This is St Day's cemetery in Redruth. There are some 31 war memorials in this churchyard. I'll pick these first two that I come to. Private J.G. Johns, Royal Army Ordnance Corps, November 1918, aged 41. And immediately behind it, Shoeing Smith, J. Dunstan, Royal Field Artillery, 1918, aged 22. Of course, in the First World War, horses were very much in use. I guess they needed shoeing. This is the first shoeing smith I've seen in all my cemetery visits. J. Dunstan, aged 22. A double grave plot here, rather like a double bed, and the surnames are very clear on top: Bastian and Harris. The rest of the inscription is rather harder to read. A very clear inscription for Clarice Marion, only daughter of Peter and Emma J. Chappell, 1929, aged 27. And beneath that we've got Peter and Emma. This is the chapel of rest in this cemetery, but it now looks deserted. You can see these building railings around the outside. This one has the angel with her wings open, looking to the left, but the inscription beneath it is too difficult to decipher. Close by is this young child as an angel. Unfortunately, the arm has been broken. I assume it's a child's grave, but again the inscription is not clear. A different sort of design here. This is Nicholas, the beloved husband of Mary Pelmere, who died at Canfield Place in Redruth, 1911. This one too is a little different from the ordinary grey granite stone. George, beloved husband of Emily Butler, died at Beacon, Camborne, 1909. Here too is something a little different, and this is Harriet, the wife of James Martin Collins, died in 1906. I love this one. This is Samuel Trounson, but they put a likeness of the fella in the stone. He died in 1904 and has got all the appearance of a typical Edwardian gentleman. The white cross has the name Sampson Hill on the front, and on the side we learn about their two sons, William Allen Hill, RNAS, Royal Naval Air Service. He died on active service March the 31st, 1917, aged 19 years. And beneath that we have their eldest son, Wilfred James Hill, who fell mortally wounded at the Battle of the Somme, September the 16th, 1916, aged 23. The First Battle of the Somme commenced on the 1st of July and ceased on September the 18th. So sadly, Wilfrid died just 2 days from the end of that horrendous battle in which tens of thousands of men walked to their deaths. This one has an inordinately large angel standing over the cross, and this is William Henry Jenkin. The largest and grandest memorial here. This one is to Sidney Hosking Opie. Now, Redruth made its money from mining, particularly copper mining, and some of the mine owners became extremely wealthy. That cannot be said of the general miners themselves. So I'm assuming that this guy is possibly one of the mine owners who made his money from the mines. This one beneath the trees and close to the road, nicely carved cross at the top there. And when we come down we read that it's Charles Wickett, 1874, 1896, so he was only 22 years old. And Annie Wickett, who was only 27 years old. This tall, pointed column has the ivy starting to grow over the inscription, but we can see it's William Rich, 1898, age 73. Beneath that is the word Nanny, presumably his wife. And up in the far corner, a very tall column in this black stone. And the inscription we can read on this side is Thomas Mitchell Williams, 1827 to 1885. John Chinow, the Wesleyan minister, who died in 1881, age 33 or age 32, and the 7th year of his ministry. So he would have been connected with the chapel we saw when we came into the town. An unusual surname, but very Cornish. Many of the Cornish names begin with Trey. This is Grace, the wife of William Tregunner, 1885, aged 50. A very elaborate design on this one. Lots of carvings around the pictures at the top. The inscription is to Elizabeth J. Williams, the beloved wife of William Jenkin. She died in 1911. Down the lower part of this graveyard, I'm starting to see quite a number of the Commonwealth gravestones. They clearly stand out. As I said earlier, there's 31 of them here. One just in front of us there, and one a little bit further back. This one to Private W.J. Jenkin, the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, 21st of April 1916, age 22. I won't try and do all of the war graves, although they certainly deserve to be remembered. This one I've picked because it's in the black stone, whereas all the rest are in the white Portland type stone. This is B. Ancove, Private, again the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, 5th of August 1918, aged 28. Going to conclude my visit to the St Day's Cemetery in Redruth at this point, just with this parting views. Cemetery could probably do a little bit of care and attention, but it's still full of interest. I've walked across the town to the far side and come to the churchyard of St Uny, and what a contrast. This is a beautiful woodland setting, wildflowers everywhere, absolutely picturesque. The path up from the town brings you into the far end of the graveyard, so we haven't reached the church yet. Here's a stone to Catherine, the wife of John Gribble. She died in 1880, aged 54 years. Beneath them we've got the death of their second son in 1858, aged 7 months. And then their fourth son, I can't quite get that, it could be 2 days or 2 years old. This is absolutely magical. Just look at the colouring on here, where the lichen has turned it orange and yellow and brown. This is Elizabeth Mitchell, 1882, aged 45 years. Mary Susan Cook, 1930. And William John Simmons, 1932. Beside the path we have this very tall and impressive monument. This is to Charles Frederick, and we're pleased to hear that he was the affectionate husband of Caroline Bishop, died in 1902. And then further down here we have Caroline herself, dying in 1915. And on the side we read, in memory of Captain C.F. Bishop, as a tribute of respect by the employees of Wheal Grenville Mine, of which he was manager. We've got a very clear inscription on this. I would think it's been recently repainted. This is Mary Jane, the beloved wife of John Escott, who died at St Ives in 1889, aged 49. And then at the bottom we have their son, William, who died at Carbondale, Pennsylvania, USA, 1900, aged 40. Right alongside that we have a war grave, so I'll scrabble my way across to it. C. Cowling, DSM, Distinguished Service Medal, who is a deckhand in the Royal Naval Reserve, HMS Arrogant, 1919, aged 42. An elaborately carved stone with the clasping hands, and below we read, Ernest, the beloved son of S&S Williams, died 1904, aged 20. And beneath that we have the third son, Samuel Henry (Harry), who died at Joburg, 1905, aged 27. And beneath that we have William James, who died in 1907, aged 37 years. As I work my way into the cemetery along the main path, on the left is the newer section, and even this is beautifully scenic with the wildflowers. Very beautiful spot. Over here, amongst the wildflowers, we've got another war grave. Private L. Jenkin, Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, 1921, aged 24. Well, we've walked through what is actually the extension graveyard of the church, and we've come to the church itself. As we come through the gate to the church, we can see there are some of the older memorials in the actual churchyard. A horizontal one just inside the gate. This is George Harris, 1875, 82nd year, and then Janie's wife, 1877. And right in front of the gate we have this block of marble, and the name on the front is Mitchell. William Bray died 1819, aged 43 years. A very large slab tomb, and on the end we see Andrew Wather. This one is to Captain John Middleton of this parish. Now, captain would have been a mine captain rather than a sea captain. He died at Shepherd's House, Newlyn East, in 1853. Next to it is posted this details of a major accident that occurred in 1846 at East Wheel Rose, and it seems that mine captain John Middleton, who was an important part of that in the rescue, was also one of the characters which Poldark, the film, was based on. This is to the aptly named Thomas Miners. He was late manager of the Flintshire lead mines, formerly of Carn Bray mine. He died at Topsham, Devon, 1892, aged 73. To the memory of Julie Anna, the daughter of John and Jane Harvey. She was born in the island of Cuba and died in 1853, aged 6 years. And next door we have this stone here, which is Josiah, the son of John and Jane Harvey. He was born in the island of Cuba and died at Lana, Guanap, 1866, aged 18 years. You wonder what their connection was with Cuba. This is an absolute picture of a graveyard, and the only sound is all the bird song. Don't know if it's coming out on the microphone, but it's just a wonderful spot. This is the church from the other side, standing in the churchyard. And at the far end of the churchyard are a lot of the large tombs. This one with the casket on top is sacred to the memory of Elizabeth, the wife of Robert Deeble Mitchell of Windsor in Berkshire. She died 1823, aged 21 years. Quite the largest lump of granite you'll see is this tomb with the name Davy on the end. I've been right round it and I've looked on top, but I can't see any other information apart from the surname. A little further along, and again up at the highest part of the graveyard, is this very large tomb with the surname Downing. What a truly amazing place this is. I'd be hard put to think of any other cemeteries in this part of the country which compare to this. stunningly beautiful. Samson Uren, died 1856, aged 67. And then Mary, the wife of Samson Uren, the mother of the above. So Samson Uren was the son of Samson Uren. This one has fallen back against the boundary wall, but the inscription is still very clear. And the wife of John Tregoning, 1875, aged 55. And John, 1866, aged 20. Thomas died at St Austell, 1867, aged 2.5 years. And Mary Jane died 1874, aged 25 years. And another name at the bottom there. A number of these horizontal tombs on this part of the cemetery, and they put the names on the end. So we have Trunson and Launder. A huge tomb here, constructed of massive blocks of granite, and yet nowhere can I see a surname or any inscription. This one is to John Provis, author and compiler of the copper ore tables. Oh, they would have been extremely important here. The wealth of this town was built on copper mining. He died in 1841, aged 55. His wife died in Nottingham. And a little bit more information as we go down about other members of the family. John Provis. Well, sadly the church itself is not open. It would have been nice to see the memorials inside there, but it's not to be. I'm walking back now through the extension to the graveyard, just over the road from the church. A group of war memorials. Private F.J. Gill, Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, 1916, aged 19. Corporal J. Glasson, Royal Engineers, 1920, aged 34. W.H. Clemo, Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, 19, aged 39. Just to remind us that the mining business was a dangerous business. Alfred Lowry, who was accidentally killed at East Pool Mine, 1903, aged 50. And right next door to it, almost hidden by this tree, Samson Sidney Brown was accidentally killed by a falling wall at Trevenson Pool, 1902, aged 19 years. Well, I'm going to leave the graveyard of St Uny now, the miners' church, and I must say it's an amazing find, one of the best graveyards you'll visit in the West Country of England. Make sure if you're down this way you walk up and see this church and churchyard. Till the next time.